Good vibes, thick thighs inside the minds of psychic mamas. Good vibes, thick thighs inside the minds of psychic mamas. Vibes only, vibes psychic mamas. Vibes only, your favorite psychic mama. Vibes only, vibes psychic mamas. Vibes only, your favorite psychic mama.
Hey, you guys, welcome back to Good Vibes, Thick Thighs. I'm your host, Gemini 211, aka Bad Bitch Energy. I am here with my brujita friend, amiga, brujita.
It's Roxy, aka Intuitive Rocks, aka a whole fiance.
When you say that.
So, did you know there's different ways of writing fiance? Like when you're referring to fiance for the guy, it's with one E at the end. And when you're referring to the woman fiance, it's two E's at the end.
What? I never paid attention to two E's. I don't even think I've ever seen two E's.
Yeah, look it up.
What the hell? That is so interesting. We just learned
Right?
something new. I learned something new.
On my journey to getting married, the things
Learning.
I search for.
She is learning.
And with that, we decided what a perfect time to touch on the 5 love languages.
Ooh, this is exciting. This is so deep. Do you even know what the 5 love languages is, what it means? Like, what is it? Like, I don't know how many of our listeners know even what that is.
I know, right? Well, okay, so I took the quiz. You had took the quiz. I wanted my fiance to take the quiz, and he was like, I don't believe in that. And I was like, whatever. Like, this is like, it's
He's
not.
too cool for that.
And I really want him to take the quiz.
You know what's crazy is that I feel like in any relationship, not just like your mom, your dad, like I'm saying like an intimate relationship. If you look at yourself and you look at the people you date, I guarantee you that once you start paying attention to the love languages, you're going to start to see the different love languages from everybody. Like, damn, this was their love language. This was their love language. But what I can tell you is for you as a woman, you as a man, to be happy with yourself, your love language, like your highest love language has to be met by your partner. Otherwise it won't work. Energetically, you guys won't work. Right. So it's just
totally believe in that.
Yeah. Like, it's just like you go out to eat and you're like, I like cheese pizza. And somebody's like, no, I put pepperoni and mushrooms and all this stuff. And you're like, yeah, no, I'm not going to eat it. And I'm not even going to take it off. You just don't like it.
So I've always been intrigued by the 5 love languages, even before I was in love.
That's cute.
I mean, everybody knows the quiz, 5 love languages to see what love language you are. There's one made for singles, a quiz made for couples. This guy went on to do, several books on several topics of love and relationships and stuff, referring to Gary Chapman, who's the author of the book, The 5 Love Languages. And I got gifted this book a long ass time ago and let it collect dust until finally I was like, okay, let me see what it's about. And it's one of those books that I wouldn't mind rereading, because whenever I decide to read it again, I'm at a different part of my life. I'm at a different stage in my life. I'm a different person, if that makes sense. So when I'm rereading it, I'm taking it in differently. I'm noticing things that I didn't notice when I was first reading it when I was 21, or like during my first marriage or whatever.
That's interesting.
So even though you know your love language because you've taken the test, I totally recommend probably taking it every couple of years to understand how you're changing, how your priorities are changing, everything. So I guess to start off, what are the 5 love languages?
Literally, what are the 5 love languages? So you have words of affirmation, acts of kindness.
You mean acts of service?
Oh, acts of service. There you go. Acts of service.
And then you have quality time, receiving gifts, and physical touch.
I seriously thought physical touch was one of my top ones, but maybe not now that I think about it.
So when I first got divorced
I don't understand.
What?
Did you hear her?
Yeah, she don't understand me. Bitch, let me talk.
What was that?
Where did that come from?
I don't know. I just seen it pop up, her say, I don't understand. I'm like, X, what are you doing? Talking telling you.
Well, you don't understand the 5 love languages. Let us explain.
Yeah. All right, spirit tapping in already. Let's
I
go.
know. What I was saying is right when after I got divorced from the abusive ex, I retook the love language quiz. And at that point, physical touch was way at the bottom. It was like my lowest one because it gives you percentages, your highest rank to your lowest out of the 5 that we discussed. And physical touch was seriously like the low percent. It was probably like 8%, honestly. And I feel like it had to do because of the relationship I had just got out of.
Wow,
Now,
wow.
now physical touch is on my top 3.
Shit. All right, so let's go over are these love languages. I'll start with acts of service, and then I'll let you read your. All right, so acts of service. I'm just gonna read exactly what it says on here. Okay, so it says, "Can vacuuming the floors really be an expression of love?" Absolutely. Anything you do to ease the burden of responsibilities weighing on acts of service. Person will speak volumes. The words he or she most wants to hear, let me do that for you. Laziness, broken commitments, and making more work for them tells speakers of this love language their feelings don't matter. Finding ways to serve speaks volumes to the recipient of these acts. Are you an acts of service? Is your love language acts of service? What do you feel with this? I feel like acts of service, this is me too. Like I want you to, I would rather you do something for me than like I'm all about action speaks louder than words.
Yeah, that I could see that.
Maybe it's just because I'm
Okay, so my question to you is when you think of acts of service, do you just think of it as running errands, household chores, them taking stuff off your plate, doing that type of acts of service? Or are there some non-chore ways of them to express their acts of service love?
I think it could be, for me personally, I feel like it's a lot of everything because it could be like, you brought me a freaking donut from the donut shop today, like unexpectedly. You sent flowers unexpectedly. You ran errands. You went to the grocery store. You cooked. Like, I feel like this could be for me personally, general, like anything that you could do that is an action. And you know, now that we talk about this, I feel like I'm that person. Like, I am the acts of service because I'm not a touchy-feely type person with my kids. I cook, I clean, I provide, I throw parties, I hang out, I do all these things where I'm like, that's my way to show you I love you, is I cook dinner for you. I cook a bomb ass whatever for your birthday. Like that's how I show love instead of kissing you and touching you. Are you super affectionate with your kids?
Yes. Am I super affectionate with everybody else? No. But my kids do get the kisses, the hugs, the love like that. Yeah, for sure. I guess acts of service is like, let you relax. Let me take over the bills. Let me go wash your car for you. I guess I like the acts of service that involves my fiance filling up the gas tank.
Wow. Yeah, there you go. Acts of service. I feel like the full definition of acts of service would be doing things that make your life easier and more joyful and more peaceful. So it could be anything that comes up in that department.
Yeah. Something off of it that really sticks out says requests give direction to love, but demands stop the flow of love. If you know your love language is acts of service and you're telling your partner or your spouse like, hey, you need to have dinner cooked by the time I get home from work. You need to have clothes washed for me for the beginning of the week. You need to help me with the kids. You're not asking them, you're demanding it from them. So the choice of words is very, very particular in order to express that it's your way of receiving love as well as expressing love, and not necessarily like them taking it as you nagging what doesn't get done or what does get done around the house.
Right. I agree.
Because I feel like acts of service could have like a bad definition behind it if people think of it like, damn, you're just bitching and complaining because they don't do stuff. Like, when it's more than that, it's
Right.
like, help me with this load so I could recharge, kind of thing, relax kind of thing. And it's funny because I'm sure because you're always doing acts of service as a way of you showing love, I'm sure if something were to get off your plate and someone take over for you, you're gonna feel like, well, fuck, what do I do?
feel that. I do feel that. You know what? Let's let our listeners guess at the end of this what our love language is.
I'll add the open-ended question on our Spotify episode. I know on our podcast Instagram, I recently shared that majority of our episodes have questions and polls, and we read the answers, we share the answers. So yeah, we'll definitely do that on our Spotify
So
platform.
I'm not gonna talk about what my love language is in this episode. You're gonna have to go follow us to find out the end results of what they are. We're leaving you in suspense. So like a good way, if your love language is acts of service, the way to show somebody or show that like acts of service love language would be like, go bring them a coffee, go give them a hug, go tell them like, dude, I'm proud of what you did. You don't have to say I love you.
Well, the proud of what you did, I feel like that would fall under words of affirmation.
That too, but it's just kind of like you're giving them the acts of service of something, just like, bro, send me some motherfucking flowers. Do you see on TikTok where on my link tree, I'm like, buy me a coffee, tip me a coffee. Yes, acts of service.
Those okay,
it.
hold on, you're getting them confused. That's receiving gifts.
Okay, receiving gifts too. Well, it could be buy me a coffee because that shows me that you love me.
What did I just say? Request it, don't demand it.
Okay, request. I request that you buy me a coffee.
Oh my god, we're gonna have too much fun with this episode.
I'm too demanding.
That's funny, but I definitely would say if you know your love language is acts of service, let your spouse know. Like I said, request, don't demand. Say, hey, I know the typical thing is for me to make the dinner every night. I would appreciate if we both shared the responsibility. Let's say, I mean, if you have a lot of money, pay someone to complete the act of service. Pay someone to clean your house, pay someone to reorganize the room and stuff like that, and show that as because that is specifically an act of service. Even though you're not doing the hardcore lifting, you're still getting it done for your spouse, knowing that that's their love language. So I think that was a good overall summary of acts of service. I guess I'll introduce the next one. I'll choose words of affirmation for 300. Just kidding.
Words of affirmation. Okay, go.
Words of affirmation is where the actions don't always speak louder than words. Words of affirmation is compliments, where you love hearing the words like I love you, or you're beautiful, or I appreciate you, or you are important. Hearing the reasons behind why they love you also sends your spirit skyward. Insults definitely shatter you and are not easily forgotten. If you're the type that hold on to those insults or those words that stab you in the heart, maybe it's because your love language is words of affirmation and you need that reassurance from them for them to affirm that they do love you, and here are the reasons why they love you. In arguments, yes, words can be tossed and everything, but if you're very sensitive to the words that are said back and forth, it's probably because your love language is words of affirmation.
Yeah, so it's basically like encouraging your partner, right? So like on your partner, they did a good job. It's more than, again, the I love you. It's more than that. It kind of just like, you're my better half. This is what you do for me. Even the kids, like it's not just I love you, I appreciate you, you're amazing, whatever, you did such a good job today. I feel like words of affirmation, I don't know, maybe is this your love language, Roxy? Do we know?
I don't know. I mean, I do have a way of words like Rico Suave.
She said Rico Suave.
I do end up telling the fiance like, damn, you look good, and he might be in sweat.
Oh, so maybe your love language is that, because I don't just
but then I'll end it with the smack in the ass too, so it could be physical.
Oh my goodness. What about when you're intimate? Like words of affirmation when you're intimate. Do you guys have do you talk when you are like being intimate? That's fucking words of affirmation. I love you.
Oh, that's the spot. Yeah.
Too much fun right now.
That's taking the words of affirmation to a whole other level.
Well, but it's true because how many of us like talk during intimacy, like, and you're appreciating that moment. You're appreciating like it. I'm not saying like fuck me harder. I'm saying like, dude, how many times do you have sex and you're being intimate? You're like, oh my God, I love you right now. Oh my God, this is amazing. Oh my God, this feels good. Like those are all just natural words of affirmation. I even feel like just making somebody feel good, feel loved, feel appreciated. That's the love language of love, of affirmations. Just
Oh yeah, for sure. Walking down the street, you see someone with a nice top and be like, "Hey, I love your top." That's a sense of words of affirmation. So, for example, when you've exchanged words with someone, it doesn't have to be your spouse, but if the example you think of is your spouse, what's one thing you remember your partner saying where it's stuck to you, either positive or negative?
well, I'll do one and one. So I know I'm a bitch. He does tell me how proud he is of what I do and all my accomplishments. Okay, now you have to answer too, not just me.
So I'm stubborn. That's
The
one
Aries.
thing that
Know that.
And then positive, I feel it'd be him saying like thank you, because the reason why that sticks out to me is because I feel like, why are you thanking me? Like I do this, like especially coming from being a single mom for so long, like what are you talking about? I just made dinner, what are you talking? Yeah, like what are you talking? It's second nature. I just cleaned, like I just did laundry. Him saying thank you or thanks, you didn't have to, but like thank you, like that's huge for me because it's as if like he's seeing it as not just me having to do it, but appreciating the time I'm taking to do simple tasks.
That's fair. That's easy. So it's kind of just like complimenting each other, right? The words of affirmation could be you love to receive compliments and you love to give compliments,
Yeah.
words of affirmation.
So, okay. I honestly should become like a couples therapist or whatever. Not to brag or anything, but because there was one time a friend of mine was having issues with their spouse. And then I ended up saying, you know what, like, don't give up unless you've tried everything. And then the homework, quote unquote, I had gave them was every morning, text good morning to them, regardless if you guys are in the same room, waking up in the same bed, whatever. Text good morning and a compliment, and try that for a week and see how things change. And I think I saved their marriage.
I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
Just to do it.
Or maybe like doesn't have to be in the morning. It could be like random throughout the day.
I do that randomly sometimes. If I'm like really angry, I'm like, I love you. Let me calm down.
Okay, so you want to know what's funny? When the fiance was in Korea, I set iPhone is amazing, by the way. I set a task for the iPhone that at a specific time it would send him a text that says, "I love you. I can't wait till you're home." And spend like it was a text that was like, "I love you, I miss you, I can't wait till you're home, I hope you're having a fabulous day," right? And it would send it every day at the same time.
How can you do that?
I forgot how. I turned it off because he's back.
Oh my gosh.
But it would legit put him in a good mood. And sometimes I would forget it would send it, and we'd probably have arguments because we missed each other's time, like call or whatever. Because I mean, come on, he was in Korea, I was over here, the time zones,
right,
the difference. Yeah. And so we'd get in a shitty mood if we didn't see each other, talk to each other, and that text would honestly make a difference.
I'm gonna try that. I need to Google how to do that.
All right, okay. Go up.
Next.
What's next? What do you choose?
I'm choosing receiving gifts because I love receiving gifts. Okay, so this one says, don't mistake your love language for materialism. The receiver of gifts thrives on the love, thoughtfulness, and effort behind the gift. If you speak this love language, the perfect gift or gesture shows that you are known, you are cared for, and you are prized above whatever was sacrificed to bring the gift to you. A missed birthday, anniversary, thoughtless gift would be disastrous. So would the absence of everyday gestures. Gifts are visual representations of love and are treasured greatly. I think you are wrong. Love language for material. It says don't mistake this love language for materialism. Girl, yes, I want me a Louis Vuitton bag and I want me some Gucci slides. So you better not buy me nothing from Walmart.
Oh my gosh. So receiving gifts, that as a love language, I feel like it also depends. Like if you are a lover that loves to express your love by gifting people, you also have to understand that your view of money is going to change too.
For sure. But in this love language, the objective is it's not all about money. It's about I'm receiving gifts to know that I am somebody, right? Like I am cared for, I am seen, I am somebody.
Okay, so like sending flowers, that would be receiving gifts, love language. But let's say I'm gonna ask you this: is it the thought that counts?
It depends on who it is. Why are we getting so deep into this? You're gonna be like, dang, that girl is mean. It depends on who it is. Because if it's my husband, like, okay, I want flowers, but I expect something a little bit more, right? Just because that's our relationship. But if it's like the kids, if it's a friend, if it's like, somebody, one of my clients, whatever, and you send me something like just a man-made card, I'm like, oh my God, that is so cute. That's so cute, but I'll tell you this, my husband, I bet you his love language is receiving gifts because he's the type like every holiday, like even like Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, like every holiday, I get a card every holiday. Every time I leave out of town, like when I'm gone and I come home, roses all the time. If we go out of town and we come home from cheer and it's like we won something, it's roses for the kid, roses for me. Congratulations, you won. Like I missed you guys. Like, and I love it.
Dang. Do you think he does that because he knows that's your love language or because that's his love language? We'll leave the suspense for everybody to guess.
I don't know.
So let me bring up another, because to go along with the whole, it's the thought that counts. Let's say you're walking, through the park with a loved one, right?
Okay.
It could be your kid, it could be your niece, your nephew, your cousin, your friend, your spouse, whatever. They end up stopping you for a second and pick a flower for you and gift it to you. Or us that were spiritual, let's say they stop, pick up a feather and say, look, and gift it to you. How would you react to that? Would you, oh my God, and treasure it?
Yeah, both the flower and the feather.
Because I'll tell you one thing. Okay, so it's no surprise I have crystals, right?
Mhm.
There's sometimes that we'll go walking, they'll find a pebble. That's a beautiful pebble, by the way. And my kids will pick it up and be like, look, mom, like your crystals. What does that show me? They're thinking of me. They know what I like, and they're trying to gift me something to,
Make you happy, just
yeah.
let you know that it's tangible. It's something that has a meaning.
Yeah. So one of my friends, what's funny is she has a glass flower vase filled with rocks and pebbles. Because every time she would go out with her little boy, and this is her only son, by the way, anytime he'd pick out a rock for her, she'd keep it. So she has those rocks since he was a kid. Now he's off to college and doing great things, right? But every time I go to her house and I see that, I'm like, oh.
That is cute. I have rocks like that. Like my granddaughter, she's 2, and she'll tell me rocks for grandma. Rocks. I'm like, okay, so like these little rocks. Like she's 2 years old and already knows grandma rocks,
Yeah.
But I feel like sometimes this love language could have like an I don't know what I even want to call it, but like the opposite to it. Cause I feel like people would say, are you greedy because you're all about gifts?
Well, see, that's why we just recently discussed gifts that don't even cost a thing. Rocks, feathers, flowers,
Yeah. But does it make you, I don't know, the word needy, mean, I don't know, because you want stuff all the time, whether it's free or not free?
Maybe it's because it's a physical item that someone can look at, someone can hold to feel closer to their loved one. When someone passes away, what do? We want to look through their stuff, keepsake, something to remind us of them,
Yeah.
So I feel like it's not selfish that your love language is receiving gifts or you're a gift giver to show your love. I guess it just depends on the person. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so during COVID, money was tight, right? I gifted my friends, my little group of girlfriends, a box, and in the box it had a toilet paper saying we've been through shit. This is a gift to remind you that of the shit we've been through together and we're still together. A candle that said, my friendship is like this candle. If you forget about me, I'll burn your house down.
Oh, that's cute.
What else? I think I also gave them
You didn't send me anything.
that what?
I said, fuck you. You didn't send me anything. I want some toilet paper and a candle.
I didn't know you during COVID.
Oh, true. Very true. Very true. Very true. Very true.
Who knows if the toilet paper would have made it? Someone probably would have stole it.
Literally.
But it was simple things like that because I was on a budget, but it was the meaning behind those little cards that I gave them, that they were like, oh my God, this is so funny. This is so cute. And they appreciated it because that in that instance, it was the thought that counts, I guess,
Yep.
But I think
Might be my love language too.
All right. So next one. I guess I'll choose because there's 2 left.
Yep.
I'll choose quality time.
Okay.
So for quality time, there's nothing like saying I love you, like full undivided attention. Being there for this type of person is critical, but really being there with the TV off, fork and knife down, phone aside, tasks on standby makes your significant other feel truly special and loved. Distractions, postponed dates, or the failure to listen can especially be very hurtful to the people that have that whose love language is quality time. This also means sharing quality conversation and quality activities.
Quality time. Quality time. That is in my brain, all I hear is undivided attention, undivided attention, undivided attention. I don't know if this is my love language because, oh hell, I don't want to give you undivided attention unless I want to give it to you.
Now, do you want undivided attention?
No, maybe sometimes. You know why? I think because I worked at In-N-Out for so long that you're constantly like doing a million things at one time. So for me to do one thing, I'm like, no, you need to be doing multiple things. Like you need to be able to work on the computer.
Multitask.
Yeah, like essay and at the same time have the TV on and finish watching your freaking series. Like there's always for me like multiple things. So that quality time for me, I feel like would be different than most people because even if we're sitting in the same room, you could be on your phone and I could be on my phone and that's my quality time with you. We don't have to be talking, we don't have to be staring at each other. We don't have to be touching each other. It's just we're in the same space.
I like that.
You're opposite.
Yeah, I like the tension. I like making memories. I like having conversations. Like I'll honestly get pissed if I'm trying to tell someone something and then they look around or, like I'm be like, are you not listening? Because I don't like repeating myself. So maybe it's more of me I hate wasting my breath repeating myself than wanting quality time. Who knows? But
as long as you hear me, because I'm constantly like doing something so I could hear you and I'll respond to you, but I'm not giving you eye contact. Maybe it just depends on what I'm doing, but I'm hearing you and I'm conversing but there's
with me, I don't think I could do that because I'll end up telling you what I want to type and then typing what I want to tell you. I'll have a lot of people confused and me thinking, oh, it's all good and dandy. I paid attention to both.
Yeah, I get that. And even with my kids, like I feel like maybe this is one I lack quality. I don't know because even with my kids, sometimes I'm like, damn, I'm so busy that like I don't give you undivided attention, because I'm constantly like cooking, cleaning, doing something, the dogs, I could put my phone down, but it's still like I'm constantly doing something else where I feel like they're so used to me like cooking, but you're talking in the background, but I'm not listening to you, but I'm cooking and like having a conversation. But now that we talk about this, I'm like, maybe I need to change up some things. Like
quality time could be taking a vacation. The time you spent with your daughter on the airplane going to their cheer competitions, that's quality time together.
True. We do spend a lot of time. The airplane rides are like hug, snuggle. Lately she's been, oh, never mind. We'll talk about this one after. The physical touch. But yeah, I could find
even the drive to school, the drive for pick up, drop off, that little drive that could be your little, because what are you doing? You're concentrating on the road, but you're able to have a full-on discussion because it's not like you're doing multiple things at once,
Right.
Sometimes the driving is like muscle memory where you blink and you're like, how the fuck did I get to the school?
Yeah, for real. Sometimes
was that a red light I passed?
I thought that was just me. I'm glad that you're still on that page too, because sometimes I'm like, how did I just get here? I don't remember. What did I do? I don't remember how I just got here.
For my kids, their biggest thing is when we have family night. We bring out a bunch of board games and we just fucking play games and I guess make memories like that. And that's our quality time.
That's nice.
Because I feel like some people feel like they need to take their spouse out, take people out, go have dinner somewhere, go try something new to spend quality time to make new memories, when in fact you could do that at home. Buy the ingredients to a new recipe and make it together, or have a competition who can make it better, So the fiance and I did a competition where we bought different beers. We did it with wine too. We bought at least 5 of them. And I'm talking about the tall boys, not like a whole 12 pack of each beer, right? Because it's just me and him. And so I took the time while he had his back towards me, I took the time to pour the beer in different cups, right? One beer. And I was the only one that knew which cup had which beer. and then I set them in front of him, and he had to guess which cup was holding which beer.
Oh,
And
interesting.
then after he did that, he took the rest of the tall boy, served it in his own style that he wanted it in his own like manner, brought it to me, and I had a guess too. And then we did the same thing with wine too.
Ew, that sounds fun.
It was a lot of fun. And it was cheap. It was what, tall boys are like $2 each. Like, get 5 of them, that's $10, no more than $15 there. Take them home, use the cups you have in your cabinet. Boom, you got like a fun date night at home. It doesn't
Oh,
necessarily
you're so cute, Roxy.
it doesn't mean that you have to spend the more you spend, the more quality time you're able to get.
Right.
Like, it could be simple things like that. Like, I'm all about saving money.
We are so opposite. You know that? I'm so like, that's cool, but I'm more like, bro, you better fucking take me to like somewhere. Like,
Let me try the drinks there.
yeah, like let's go somewhere and eat and try drinks. Like, yes, at home, but it would have to be like, dude, we're just so opposite.
Maybe for you, that version of competition would be like, you go out to a restaurant and you ask for
Yeah.
a flight of beer or a
Yeah.
flight of wine.
Yeah, for sure. We do go to this restaurant. They have like a flight of margaritas, and we'll do like but
See?
they have these like with chamoy, with those like tamarindo, like all these amazing. Yeah, so we do stuff like that. But we've never really done it at home. I feel like when we're at home, we're both in work mode, like he's wanting to answer phone calls, do work. So it's hard to get the undivided attention. So it's easier to just go out where you don't have access to work anything other than your phone.
Yeah, I totally get that. Which is why podcast recording, anything with the podcast, when I'm pulling cards, when my workstation is all in one room, that way I could just shut the door and leave it behind when I'm in the house. Because if not, I'd go crazy.
Yeah, I go crazy sometimes too. Sometimes. Okay, so our last love language is one of my favorites. Might be my love language too. I feel like I'm all of them. So you guys are gonna have to guess. Is physical touch. It says this love language isn't all about the bedroom. A person whose primary love language is physical touch is not surprisingly very touchy. That might be me. Hugs, pats on the back, holding hands, and thoughtful touches on the arm, shoulder, or face. They can all be ways to show excitement, concern, care, and love. Physical presence and accessibility are crucial while neglect or abuse can be unforgivable and destructive. Physical touch fosters a sense of security and belonging to a relationship. Wait, so does this mean neglect or abuse that's like a physical touch that some of us like?
What it's saying is like, when physical touch is abusive, that's where it's like me, when I got out of that abusive marriage, I didn't want anything to do with physical touch because it ends up it ends up damaging my view of what physical touch is. Like, for you've mentioned in the past where when your ex would say I love you, you don't say it because that was his way of trying to like manipulate you into like coming back type of thing, right?
Right.
So it could be that was damaging to your words of affirmation love language because you couldn't allow yourself to hear the I love you or say the I love you because of that bad experience you had with it. So I think with the physical touch, it's the same thing. If you're a child and you wanted the hug and the affection from your parents and they didn't give it to you, that's going to in turn damage you in the future when it comes to loving with physical touch, same as abuse. If someone's beating your ass in a relationship and then they're still loving you at the same time, you're going to have some confusion where you're going to want nothing to do with physical touch because it takes you back,
Yep.
Which is why I say, like, it's very interesting to see how what category you fall into every couple of years that you take this quiz to see what your love language is.
I want to just touch on like physical touch doesn't just mean like affection, right? Like it could just mean like literally shoulder to shoulder with somebody, like
holding hands.
Yeah, like something innocent. Like, but I was gonna say earlier, like on the airplane, sometimes like my daughter's like, "Mom, touch me or hug me," and I'm like, "Oh, I can't do that right now. Like, I'm just sitting next to you. This should be enough physical touch for me to you." Like,
it's probably her sense of like wanting that security because she's on a plane. Like, let's say you're crying and your spouse walks in. Would you rather them look at you and be like, "Peace, I'm out. I can't deal with the tears," or would you rather them, "Oh shit, she's crying," and then come into bed and like hold you while you cry? That's a form of physical touch too.
I need that sometimes. I lack physical touch though. I think because of my upbringing. So I feel like with the kid, like my daughter will sometimes be like, "I just need you to hug me. I just need you to touch me. I just need to lay in bed with you and be coddled. Like, I just need your touch. And sometimes I get like, but it's weird because I don't know, just in general, I feel like it's easier to be affectionate with your spouse or your significant other or whoever you're intimate with. But then when it comes to your kids, I feel like I'm not as affectionate, but I'm affectionate with my partner.
It's that, I think it's the upbringing you had and you having to break those chains to be able to be affectionate to your children. And you break that cycle. For me, since, like I said, since I had that whole separation from the abusive marriage, I am not affectionate. Like when people hug me, I hesitate to hug them back, or I tell them 5 seconds and that's it. Get off me.
5 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, done. I don't like people touching me. I can't. And I'm not sure if it's because of that relationship that kind of spoiled me. Like, even I go to my parents' house, right? When I see my siblings, I'll fist pump them to say hi. I don't greet them with the hug and kiss like normal families probably do. I honestly go, what's up? Found it. Like, but when it comes to my kids, I'll give them a hug, I'll give them a kiss. But I feel another thing that's like being brought to the surface now with social media and like the accessibility of what we could see and stuff is that a lot of people are saying when your child does not want to hug or kiss someone as a form of hi or bye, do not force them, because you're then telling them it's okay to go in, get into their boundaries and force that hug on them. And they don't see it as a sign of affection because they're not comfortable with that person. Do you think perhaps that's what also happened? Like, were you forced to say, like, give a kiss to all your tias and tios when you're leaving and stuff like that?
No, my family was very not affectionate in any way, shape, or form. And I carried that trait as a mom. I carried that trait to my kids because it's crazy, because they're like, don't touch me, to even to their boyfriends. It's kind of like when we need it, but it's not like I need it all the time, you know? And they are all like that. All 5 of my girls are all like, touch me when I say you could touch me. If I don't say touch me, don't touch me.
Yeah.
And I always tease because I'm like, you guys fucking want to be holding hands and shit with boys, but then when I touch you, it's like, ew, mom, don't touch me. Ew, mom, get your leg off of me. You're prickly. You didn't shave right. And I'm like, dude.
That's funny.
Yeah,
It's
so
cold.
like I feel like in that area of physical touch, like I brought that brokenness from my upbringing into my kids that now, and I even teaching myself, you know, to like be more affectionate, be more loving, be more nurturing, be more coddling, because I'm not usually like that, you know, so.
Yeah. I grew up in a very affectionate family, hugs, kisses, all that. Then that abusive marriage I went in through changed it. And after that, I feel like I haven't been the same because I greet them with like fist pumps. I'll give my mom and my dad a kiss on the cheek, but like a side hug sometimes, not fully embracing them. And it's probably something I still need to work on. When I do end up hugging someone, like my sisters, when I asked them to be my bridesmaids, right? They came up to give me a hug and I let them hug me. And my mom was like, where's my camera? Oh my God, she's letting someone hug her. Like, that's how much I don't let people in my space, you know?
Wait, but do you let your man hug you and you don't care?
I think it's because he's hardly here because he's out for work, you know? So when he is here, it's like, I missed you. Hug.
That's what see, this is what I'm trying to say with my kids. Do you think that it's because it's a man, like it's a male, like it's your partner, like you're intimate, I love you on a different level than like your kids or your sisters, like I love you?
It's totally a different level because that physical touch that I do with my fiance he's the only one I'm gonna do that physical touch with. Let him touch all of me inside and out.
Oh, why? She said inside and out. We know what goes on in that bedroom. It's always the quiet, innocent ones that portray themselves to be innocent that are the kinky ones.
I mean,
I have to tell you, somebody just told me this weekend to watch on Netflix Sex Life. Have you seen it?
no.
So I only watched the first episode, and it's basically about a woman, and she's so pretty, attractive. Obviously, she's over 21 and she's like in her 20s, early 30s, and she just loves sex. So she goes and she just has sex. Like she meets people, different positions, different, like just different sex partners, like just enjoying life. And she marries a man who is very cute, very fit, very attractive. They have kids. And after her second baby, this is just episode 1. Okay. After she has her baby, she's like realization, like our sex life changed. Like I don't get put in these funky positions. I'm not being like he's naked. He comes in naked, hot body, freaking 6-pack. And she's like, ooh, you look so cute. She's trying to be seductive. And he's like, oh, the work call. I forgot I have a work call. Let me just put this towel around me. Like, and she totally was like,
wait, is it a reality show or like a
no, it's just this
okay.
Netflix series. So she's just like, what have I fucking done with my life? I went from sex all the time, good sex, position sex, all this amazing sex to maybe I'll have sex and it's just there.
Wait, it's called Sex Life? Because that sounds like that movie.
Sex Life. It's a series on Netflix. You're gonna have to watch it. So if you guys haven't watched it, go
That's
watch
crazy.
it. I would suggest you don't watch it with kids around or awake.
Obviously.
Because it's very loud. There is a lot that goes on. But yeah.
So that brought a different question for me. I think I've asked this to the fiance too. Like, let's say you're a married couple, you get pregnant and you're in labor. Do you allow your spouse to look as the baby is born or not?
Fucking motherfucker, you put your shit in there. You created this, so you fucking watch. You better see the pain that I'm going through for you. Down there, not up here.
So the reason I ask is because, or maybe it's based off of maturity.
Probably.
The guys that are watching it, their maturity, because it could be, I guess it would be based off of maturity. Now that I'm trying to get the question out, like, what about those men that see their significant other giving birth and then it makes them see them differently, you know?
Yeah.
Where they no longer are sexually attractive as much or have that sexual desire towards them because they seen what their vagina could do.
Ugh, gosh. You know what's funny is like I'm super like free spirit, open body. So it's like me, like, did you ever get embarrassed when you're going into labor and they're like, do you want your mother-in-law in here? Do you want your mom in here? Do you want your sister in here to see? I'm like, fuck. I'm even like that now. If you got it, flaunt it. I don't really give a fuck. Like, do you get like weirded out?
Well, so for my first kid, I had a cesarean.
Oh,
so yeah, they just saw my insides. Like, and what's funny is like, I remember telling them like, am I supposed to be feeling it? Cause I'm starting to feel a little bit of pressure. And they're like, they shot me up after that. And I passed out because I was feeling it. Like, I don't think that anesthesia they gave me was like doing it for me.
Oh gosh, hell no.
But luckily it was after the baby was born and they were starting to put things back together and sew me up type of thing. For my youngest, I did give birth vaginally, a natural birth. And
you get embarrassed?
My godmother was in the room.
Like, I feel like you'd be embarrassed now. Like, we're totally opposite in that sense where I'm like, you got it, flaunt it, who cares? Or I feel like you're more reserved.
So this is the thing. This is why I brought up the question, because it had me thinking because of some other situation, which I'm not going to speak on, but it had me thinking where I had asked my current fiance and I said, hey, we're in the talks of having a baby after we get married, right? And I asked him like, if you were to see me give birth, would you be disgusted by me afterwards? Like, you know, seeing, you know? And he's like, his response was something along the, because I asked this a while back, but his response was something along the lines like, why would anybody get disgusted by that? It's a natural thing that happens. It's not like it's going to gross me out.
Some people really do.
So that's my question. Like, when they do, is it because of their maturity status? Like, they're not super mature enough to understand, like,
I don't even think it's just mature because I think of me like I get grossed out easy now.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I was never like that, but now I get like I can't even hear things that are like grimy and like I'm like, ooh, close my ears, like I can't see things. So I feel like I'm very judgmental when it comes to me being in a relationship. Like I want you to look the way I want you to look so that I could be physically attracted to you.
Okay.
Like, right? Like, yeah, we all have our days where we're sloppy, who the fuck gives a fuck. But like when we go out and stuff, like I want you to look your best. Like I want you to look where I like if it's a date night, right? Like get dressed. Like I want to go on a date with you and be like, damn, you're cute right now. Dang, like I'm in the moment of having dinner. But I feel like if there was a situation like, okay, you're gonna think I'm weird, but my husband cut himself skiing. Okay. needed stitches.
Oh my
Sent
God, you scared me. Your
no,
hand motion made it seem like he cut his neck. I was like,
cut his fucking no, he cut his leg. He's very a young soul. Okay, so he's skiing, video recording, like, ooh, look at me ski, where you're supposed to have two fucking things in your hand. Well, he has
right.
his phone, like, ooh, look at me going up and down. I don't. It looks fast through the video, and somebody cut him off to where he had to go around. He ended up hitting a tree. The you know, the bottom of the ski poles, how they have like a little
Oh, like the hooked kind of thing.
like it sticks in the ground,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
it sliced his leg. This guy
yeah.
sends me the fucking video of the leg getting stitched up. Like, why would you do that? So then when you come home, right, and he's like, I need to have sex. I'm like, oh God, no, I am not. Like the leg,
Oh
no.
my God.
No. That leg needs to be like, I don't know, wrap it with a towel. I don't know, tape it with something that's not just Band-Aid, because I can't do that. So I could relate to the people or the men that you're questioning about, like, you get
Yeah.
gross, 'cause, yeah, I'm grossed out. Like, I
But
don't
see,
want to
you're not grossed out forever until
no until it's
the leg
gone.
hit.
So maybe that's how they feel. Like maybe it's just a temporary thing. I don't know. But
Or
I do know
maybe,
people that have split up over that.
really?
Yeah. When I
See,
was
that's
young.
what I'm thinking. Like,
I was
they
younger, so
see
it
it.
could be the age. Like you're right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they
Yeah.
get tainted to the point where there's a point of no return at that point, right?
Yeah, I
I
think
don't
it is
know.
dirty now that you say that.
Because you, yeah, you let it affect you, but then it's not like you gave up on sex altogether.
No, just momentarily, like I'm just grossed out with things like that. Like
That's crazy. I would have been like, send me the video. I want to see his leg.
I really, ew, that's disgusting. I'll send it to you. I have it. That I might have even deleted it because I'm like, why would you do that? Like you already know how grossed out and sensitive I am. Like, why would you do that? I feel like I'm one of
That's
those like
crazy.
white chicks, you know, like, oh my God, Sally. Oh my God. And then my husband's always like, girl, you're fucking ghetto. Quit trying to act like that. No, I'm not. I'm like Sally, girl.
Oh my God, we should totally make alter egos.
Oh yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun.
It sounds like you'd be Sally, the white girl, the White
I would,
Valley girl. Sally
yes.
from the Valley.
And then Roxy's like, girl, you're Latina. Fucking talk Spanish, girl. You know what the fuck you're doing. Quit
You're
acting like
Sandra.
Maria Guadalupe. Talk right. Yeah, I
Oh my
know.
God, that's funny. But okay, when it comes to physical touch as a form of love, right? Would you prefer the non-sensual physical touch or the sensual physical touch as a form of love?
Probably nonsense.
So like a gent, like a massage or like a holding hands.
Yeah, something like you could just put your shoulder on my shoulder, or you could just put your leg on me, and I'm like, okay, I love you
Okay.
too. What about you? I feel like
I
you're
guess I could say I could say the same thing with clothes off.
yeah.
Nonsense. Why does your reaction?
You fucking dirty bitch, dude. I have 5 kids, girl. I don't know what I've been doing because you are on a whole different level.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. I just want because you were like agreeing with me, and then once I said no clothes on, you're like you nodded, and then you're like, wait.
What? You have to totally watch that sex life video. You're gonna be like, I'm gonna try this now. Fuck that. Like we're doing this.
Yeah. Well, okay, so there's this show on Showtime called or is it on Discovery? I don't even know what it's on. It's called I don't know what it's called either.
Oh my goodness.
But it's been a while since I've seen it. But it's basically a sex therapist helping
Like
couples with their sex life.
oh
And
wow.
it's a reality show. Like, so it's legit sessions and legit couples. And like, so one of the things that the sex therapist does is gives them a camera to put in their bedroom to see how the sex is. Like how, like who initiates it, if they only do one position type of thing, you know?
Wow.
In one of the episodes, this couple, obviously they blur the part out, but you could obviously see what they're doing, right? What position they're in and stuff. This couple, in the middle of having sex, their dog jumps on the bed and starts humping a pillow.
Oh hell no.
I was like, what the fuck?
Well, you know what's crazy is my puppy, like if he's in the room and we're about to have sex, like he's like trying to jump on the bed, he's trying to be in the mix of things, he's crying, like I have to kick him out of the room now. Like I can't have you in the room.
I'm here laughing at this episode, right? Because this is a while back that I've seen it. Tell me why the this shit happened. We were full on in the middle of it, and fucking Nala jumps on the bed and fucking ruins it. I'm like, bitch, go. You have Simba outside. Go to him.
Wait, are your dogs, do they hook up and have sex or what?
Okay, so my friends laugh because they say Nala, which is a female one that we have, takes after me because she'll be humping the fuck out of Simba, and Simba will be like, all right, that's enough, get off me.
But have they ever been together?
I don't think so. I think because Simba's still a puppy, maybe. I mean, but they do 69.
Dog sex. I can't right now.
All right, we're totally like taking the physical touch to a whole nother level, but
well, this was fun.
It was.
But I want to encourage you guys to do what me and Roxy did. We literally just went online and Googled and found a love language test, and we took the love language test. We will be posting it on our Instagram. The results on the Instagram of our love language. But I want you guys to guess first. Let's get a poll and see if who could guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Language. Gonna be fun. So we'll post that. This was interesting. This was fun. If you guys have any questions, comments, all that good stuff, you guys already know. Email us, DM us, Instagram, the Gmail, because this is a good topic.
It
and
is.
I want to cheese man.
And it was fun. We want to know your guys' love language.
And I want to know everybody's cheese man. So yeah, we are sending tons of love, tons of light, and we are out this BITCH.
Bye.
Good vibes, thick thighs inside the minds of psychic mamas. Good vibes, thick thighs inside the minds of psychic mamas. Vibes only, vibes psychic mamas. Vibes only, your favorite psychic mama. Vibes only, vibes psychic mamas. Vibes only, your favorite psychic mama.